Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's about 18 degrees out. I haven't done a weather check around here for quite a while. Let's go on out and check the weather. As you can see, we've had some fog and stuff in the last couple days. It's foggy now at 18 degrees. So any place these cloud layers are hitting the ground, you get this white ice on everything. But other than that, it's almost a nice day. Not a bit of air. Yeah, the pile's getting high. There is a load of gravel under there, though, so it's not as much snow as you think. There's about 10 inches on the ground. Just barely enough for the snowmobilers to go. But we haven't had cold weather. I mean, it's been cold this last week. But, I mean, we've been having people fall through the ice only, 3-4 miles as a crow flies from here. Some drowning, some not. I mean, in first of February, which I don't know if today's the 1st or the 2nd. I ain't sure really what the date is, because when you're home all the time. What is today? It says February. February 1st. So today's the 1st. So yeah, we should have 2 feet of ice on all these small ponds around here. At least a foot, foot and a half. But some of them just don't have it. So people got to be wary of that. You go another, 20, 30 miles north of here and they're pretty much safe, but I wouldn't guarantee anything this year. So as you saw on the last video, we got this thing all bolted up. I threw a little bit of green paint on before I went up for the night. So right now I'm doing the studs. I want to show you those studs. A lot of people wonder why I don't make any more progress than I do. I had to rejuvenate 2 nuts. The 2 nuts that were on them rocker studs were, I threw them away. But I take one of these old ones that have had lock washes under them 100 times. This one here, I'm going to throw away too. You can see the sides are all corroded. But, yeah, I do have a metal bucket. So let's go on over, check out the other stuff over here. So I've done one of these studs. This one here I just got done doing. It came out nice. Cosmetically, it wouldn't win no prize, but it's all good. This one here cost somebody cut that top off, which was a shame because that's a good stud other than that. But we'll save it. It's still usable. And I got another one of these right over here. That's what they looked like when I started. I mean, pretty nasty. So I'm going to go and wire wheel this. I'll run these 2 taps over them, and it'll make up one just like that. So I'll be back in a little bit. So that's the second one. It's just hand tight. It's going to work. Not a lot of load on this. They really didn't need a 5/8 stud here. They could have got by with a 1/2 or a 9. Would have worked plenty good. But I'm pretty sure that the John Deere engineers probably figured there's going to be some farmer's son, that's about 6'2", and probably figured they better make it stout, So pretty much everything on a John Deere is overbuilt anyway. But anyway, we're going to walk them up. I'll just double nut them, tighten them up. And I was going to go and regrind these. And I've been looking at them. I wouldn't call them acceptable to what I would like to see, but they were running fine, such as it was. So I'm just going to wash that, slide it on after I put the push rods in, and we'll go do that here in a little bit. As you can see from the bulge, this here was probably a piece of 3-inch that was crushed down. These actually take, well, it's upside down, but 2 7/8. Yeah, I just went and squared this one off. I'm going to cut a 3.5-inch piece. This one here is about 3-inch, but if you measure back, I got 1.5 inches in the middle, and by the time you figure the other 1.5 inches, you only get 3/4 of an inch. of overlap. I'd rather have a little more. So I might even go to 4-inch. And that would give me a little bit more, but I really only need about 1.25 inches. So yeah, that'd be 2.5, 3.5, 4. Yeah, maybe I will go 4. Might be a little better. If it's too much, I can always trim it, but it's hard to put it back on. Okay, let's get this 4-inch here cut. A little more. Right on the money. You know, some people might frown on cutting holes on a woodworking saw, but I'll tell you, best way to do it. Ripped a little bit right there, but that's a good job. A lot better than you can do with a razor blade. Usually it doesn't actually do that, but I think the blade got a little hot. But anyway, yeah, ready to put her on. So one of the poor designs of these John Deeres are these bottom water bolts. They go right through into the water jacket. So I'm going to put this number 5 Rector Seal. They probably got better stuff, but I'm going to try this. I'm going to put it in the hole and on the bolts and wind her in and hope for the best. I've never actually used this on them before. I've got some of the other thread sealers that are supposed to seal threads. They're not very thick on viscosity. They're all anaerobic stuff. And I really don't know if they thick enough to do the job or not. That's why I'm going to try this number 5 Rector Seal. Anyway, it's one of those things it's easy to get to from underneath if it leaks. So I'm going to test this with water first. So anyway, I'm going to go get things prepped and organized. I've got my hose preloaded under here with the clamps on it. And get the clamps up where I can get to them. Some people like them on the bottom. It really doesn't matter. The fan doesn't get anywhere near them, so I like them right up where I can stand up and work on stuff. But anyway, yeah, we're going to get that done next. As you can see in the 2 holes, I got a good dose of the number 5. I've also got some on the bolts. So we are going to fit this up there and see what we can do. Put the bolts over here where I can get them. Come on, just a little more. There we go. Hopefully this seals. Those, we all know how rusty this head was. Well, come on, there we go. Well, those threads are kind of oversized because of the amount of corrosion. So hopefully this Rector Seal will take care of it. I'm not sure if it will or not, but we'll find out. Slide that hose back just a little bit if I can. I'm going to have to get a pry bar. I'll bring it back in a little bit when I get it organized. I'm just going to pry off the radiator. Okay, I've oiled all these push rods. And I know these are tight. So we'll see here how we do. Yeah, that one went in the follower. Well, I know we had to pull them out and bend them. Well, we didn't bend them, but we was springing them a little. So I'll probably have to do the same thing again. There we go. Yeah, that one went in the follower. There we go. They are tight. They just barely go in. There we go. There's a hammer down there. Come on. Let's see here. Okay, we gotta get that lined up down there. On our oil. Yeah. Beautiful. I'll tell you, it's worth thread chasing stuff. Definitely worth it. Yeah, that there. I should have put it up there when it was out 1/8 of an inch. There we go. Get it started and then it'll set in when it goes in. There we go. Beautiful. Normally you put that on kind of as you go without these screws on. It's easier, but yeah, that should be tight enough. It's not up to no 125, but it's up there pretty tight. Okay. So we'll roll the engine over a little bit, see how things go. Yeah. Beautiful. They're all doing what they're supposed to. Some are a little tight. So I guess we'll go ahead and adjust our valves. So we got to put this number 1 cylinder up onto compression. So that right there is exhaust opening. Just went through valve overlap, intake is opening. Intake closes. Now when it goes up and snaps, that should be top dead center. Right there. That's when you adjust these two. And then you should go a half a turn and do the rest of them over here. Because it always fires on the left first and the right second. So anyway, I'm gonna go get me some feeler gauges. Okay, I got the other ones done off camera. I'm gonna go roll that engine ahead till the next impulse. That's the intake shutting right there. Right there. Now we'll do them too. 20 thousandths. I'm just going to do this one on camera, just in case somebody hasn't seen it done, but it's pretty elementary. Just back at 3/4 nut off till you just get a light drag. When you tighten this up, it's going to loosen it a little bit. So if it's skosh tight before you tighten it, it'll be all right. That's just right. Now we'll go to the inside, which is way off because we did seats on those outside ones, so they weren't far off. But now this one here is like 40 thousandths off because of what I took off ahead. There we go. So the back ones are off quite a lot. Or I should say the intakes are. I feel like it right there. Yep. Beautiful. That one there might be just a skosh tight. I'm going to loosen that one just a little, I think. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. That should now have compression when you crank it over. So we'll see here if it does or not. Well, it's good vacuum. Oh yeah. So that's good. So she is ready to put the rocker cover on. And I gotta clean it first. It's been sitting on the floor in here and look at all the crap, huh? But I'm gonna put it on just the way it is. I'll just rinse it. And yeah, give me a little while. I'm probably gonna pound these out. They're divoted in. And yeah, need to do a little work on it. So I'm gonna use the old gasket over. We got a machine surface to go against, it's new. And I just pounded these out flush. So we'll see here how things go. Oh, beautiful. There is supposed to be a copper washer under these. I don't know if it came in the kit, but we'll see if they have, oh yeah, they go out and snug. I'm not gonna worry about that copper right now. I'm just gonna give them a little tiny snug, not much, because that's what people do. They over tighten them and it crushes this in. So we'll see how that goes there. That old girl's buttoned up. Time for the manifold, which is marginal at best. It's an all-fuel manifold, of course. And I got to do a lot of cleaning around here. It won't seal. I don't know if I'm going to put it on the mill and take a little 30 thousandths off it or not. There's plenty of iron there. I'm not going to show it, but I think I'm going to cut this. It just seems like it ought to be done. It's going to be kind of hard to get supported, but we'll see what I can do. Well, I was just knocking off the scale. This one's junk. So, plan B. Yeah, got to go get a manifold off another tractor, I guess. So, yeah, pick my poison, I guess. So, I know I was going to bolt this on and finish it today, but, well, I just went and ordered a new manifold. I kept thinking about it, and I said, no, got to just buy a new one, be done with it. Oh. So it'll be a few days, and to keep debris out of here, there we go. Tell you a quick story about debris getting in an engine. Well, you just saw me tape up that manifold of ports on the head. Quick story about those manifold of the head ports. The Super C that we rebuilt here a year or so ago, it's upstairs in the barn. When I was in high school, 1980, that auto service shop was 100 feet long. And there was some kids working on some sheet metal stuff right up against the wall on the further side. And I was putting that tractor engine together about 75 feet from where they were. 60, 75 feet, somewhere like that. And they're up there crashing and banging with coal chisels. And all of a sudden I heard somebody talking about, where'd that go, where'd that go? Well, they're up there looking everywhere. Nobody ever found the head of that screw that they chiseled off. We looked everything over down our way, didn't see nothing. And we continued assembling, put the intake manifold on, put the carburetor on, fired her up. She ran perfect. Went around the school 2 or 3 times with it. Torqued the head down again, set all the valves, put her all back. I mean, run like mint. That thing, before we rebuilt it, you could run about 3 hours with the spark plugs and you'd have to change them. I mean, it was plumb wore out. And so that was 1980, and that tractor's a 1952, I believe. I think it's 52. It's a Super City anyway. And anyway, she'd been used hard. So I put it on the trailer to bring it home, and 2 planks instead of 3. And I was bringing it down, and when I dropped it off the last one, because they were long planks, and I kind of swooped it off, and it dropped down probably 6 or 8 inches, and the front end just did a little bounce like that. When it did, it come into a knock. I mean, like a hard knock. You know where this is going. Of course, at the time, I never even thought of that screw head. So I thought it was something that happened in the oil end. So I backed it over, took all the oil pan off, checked all the rods. They were all perfect. Put everything all back together, and I said, Jesus, I started it up, and it still, I mean, it ding, 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 ding. It was just like there was a ball peen hammer in there hitting. So I said, well, I guess it's something under the head. So, of course, I drained all the fluid out of it and pulled the head, and half of a screw head that they had chiseled off had gone some 50, 60 feet through the air and struck that head in the, I'm assuming the intake port. Just happened to fly through the air and hit it, and went in and sat there in the port, or went into the cylinder and just didn't get in between, because there's room in there for something to go around and travel until you get over towards the edge, and then of course it'll bang. And it never happened to make any noise until I dropped it off that plank, and wherever it was stuck, it moved. And I'll tell you, I was some disgusted. But I was pretty impressed with that though. Took that all apart, put it back together, same head gasket, just bolted it right back down. It never leaked. And I took that piece of screw head up to the school teacher, and I said, you ain't gonna believe what happened. And I told him how it started knocking. He says, well, what was it? What was it? And I opened up my hand and showed him that little piece. I said, it was that damn screw them kids couldn't find. He just looked at me and said, oh, he said, what are the chances? I said, yeah, tell me about it. So, it's a good idea. If you're not going to do stuff right off, go ahead and tape them up. The manifolds come in probably next Wednesday or so we'll finish this next week. I ordered a new muffler. It come to $300 and some for everything I ordered. But it should finish this foolish thing. I still need to get the back dash there off of Ryan. Be waiting on that, and I think that'll do it. And we'll be able to put this outside. And I don't have anything to put a load on it with right now because wintertime. Otherwise, I can saw with it or something. But we'll put her outside and let her idle with some cardboard over and get her retorqued. And hopefully it should make a good runner, just a good power plant. So anyway, that's it for this little story. Take care, everybody. Keep safe, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.